From After Dark, World Headquarters, this is your favorite correspondent, KD, welcoming you to the Wednesday morning edition of your morning report. It is December 8th, 2021. And yes, National Goof Off Month continues. Let's get right to the reading, shall we? Michael Crichton, if you've been following along, he's been going to see the London astrologers to see if there's such thing as psychic ability. So, continuing with the reading, this is Crichton speaking, of course. I was back a couple of days later. I saw a middle-aged woman who wore a Scottish tweed suit and who looked like a tall version of Ms. Marple. In tones of great authority, she informed me that I was from Malta, that I was an only child, and I was in a business that had to do with food or restaurants, and I had better watch out because I was being cheated. I left stunned. This woman had been entirely wrong. It had seemed that by chance alone she would stumble onto something about me that was true. But this reading had been wrong in every detail. Because I was directing a movie, I had a car and a driver. My driver, John King, became interested in why I was going so often to this association. What is it they do there exactly, Michael? Well, they have people who do readings, psychic readings. They tell you the future. Sometimes they just tell about you, what kind of person you are. You don't already know what kind of person you are? John had this practical side. Well, it's interesting if someone who doesn't know you tells you. And they're right? Usually, yes. John was silent for a while. Then he said, "You believe a person can tell the future?" "I think something is happening here," I said. That was as far as I'd gotten at that point. It would have been absurd to insist that all of my readings could be explained in some ordinary way. One psychic had told me the names of my friends in California. Another had described my house and the modifications I had made to it. A third had recalled a traumatic incident in the third grade when I was released from Ms. Frumpkin's pet canary and the bird, had released Ms. Frumpkin's pet canary and the bird had flown into the ceiling air vent and couldn't come back for an hour. A network of the most diligent informants couldn't explain that one. Nor had I inadvertently conveyed the information to the psychic by any normal channel. I couldn't have leaked anything about Ms. Frumpkin's canary. I hadn't even remembered the incident until I was reminded of it. I was quite clear about all that. I was clear about what hadn't happened. Michael Crichton's Travels. It's a good one. I can recommend it. It's time, since we retired the lame adult joke book, it's time to break out the Larry Flint Hustler joke book. A woman told her husband that he should experiment with eating her pussy because she heard it was a thrilling experience. The husband, who'd never done such a thing, went manfully to the task. The taste wasn't bad, but he found the smell overpowering. Suddenly, the wife orgasmed and simultaneously emitted a tremendous fart. "Thank God," sighed the husband. Fresh air. If you didn't like that, Maybe you'll like In Touch magazine. Let's continue with the reading. Remember, we're reading about her lesbo initiation, although it was written by a dude. My speculation, of course. As days passed, my desire to use my mouth on another female grew to a horny obsession. I became nervous and worried. I was 23 and supposedly happily married, fingering myself off countless times a day while fantasizing myself with my head buried between some female's parted thighs. But my nervousness and worry were not the result of guilt or shame. I felt neither. My obsession to suck was so strong. Did I mention the fact that this has got to be written by a dude? My obsession to suck was so strong that it completely obliterated all guilt. My nervousness was due to my constant horny urges, and my worry was simply a result of a fear that I would never fulfill my fantasy. How does one go about turning such a suck fantasy into fact? Touch magazine. Female writers, but they're males. To wind up this morning report this morning, let's go to you know who. It's always these guys from these foreign countries trying to pimp something to her. Dear Xavier, I'm a well-endowed Filipino male of 33 who happens to have the unusual avocation of collecting pantyhose. Since you are a lovely, vivacious woman who has probably put her pantyhose to full and unusual use, would it be too much to ask for an old pair of yours in exchange for a new pair from me? I would really like to add yours to my collection. I will be checking my P.O. box starting next week, hoping to hear from you and learning that you were agreeable to my request. And please don't bother washing them before you send them. In anticipation, name withheld, Honolulu, Hawaii. Xavier got a bogus degree. Right there it is. I'll read it to you. The University of Man. See, it's the University of Man. The University of Man know all men and women by these present that Xavier Hollander has proved by her thesis that she is professional status in fucking, methodology, Greekology, analingus, cunnilingus, swingology, fuckology of the testes, fellatio, dildoism, sadism, masochism, orgiology, and all other fields in the art of love. By the authority granted to me as an academic of high note and a man of many letters and postcards, I hereby confer on you Doctor of Fuckology, Dr. Hollander, and grant you the rights, privileges, and honors therefore pertaining on this date, August 13th, 1973. Xavier's Doctor of Fuckology. Do you have yours? Let's get consequential shit done today. Get your ass out of the bed. Coffee's waiting. Just get up. You know, in this world, it's you versus you. Do you understand the context and meaning of that? I know that you do. It's you against you. So remember, in life, it's you against you. And Always be nice until it's time not to be nice. Always take care and watch after animals. Never complain. Never explain. Discipline equals freedom. So, for Mr. and Miss America and all ships at sea and all sods, say it with me. This is KD, welcoming my new subscribers, thanking my old and new subscribers. I've got 66. One more and I'd be in trouble. Could I get 67? Could I get 100? Could I get 100,000? I'm working on it. I must go wander the earth now and get into adventures. I suggest you do the same. Cheers, everyone.